dinghy renovation project's been stalled for a couple of weeks as I've been working really hard. I was up in London last weekend writing software and helping run the first ever open banking hackathon. Believe it or not. This weekend I finally have a couple of hours to get going, so my plan is to try to get all the old glue off that one. I think if I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound. I mean, as much as I just want to get it all glued up and working again, I have a funny feeling that that one over there probably I should get done as well. I've been reading up a bit and it looks like these bits here, they're not PVC. They're probably more of a rubberized material, and the glue that sticks the PVC doesn't stick to rubber very well, so I suspect this is why I've been having issues with the last chap who did the repairs. Maybe just use a PVC glue. So what I'm going to try and do, I've bought some Hypalon glue, or glue for Hypalon rubber boats, which does stick to this apparently. So the idea is I stick the Hypalon glue, this is according to, I can't remember the name of the website, I'll put a link down below. They have a lot of information on inflatable boats. So I'll put some Hypalon glue on the inside of that and let that dry, and then I put the PVC glue on there and on the tube, stick it all together, and hopefully it will hold really well. So that's the current plan. Actually, that's been sat there for a long time, like 3 weeks now, just sat there hanging like that. Maybe I could leave it and then get it's quite imperative that I get the bloody dinghy back in the water so I can get out to flow at the moment. So maybe I'll just go straight on with putting the Hypalon glue on this and try to glue it all up. The only thing that's making me think I need to do it all at one stage and get everything cleaned up ready is that the glue, it comes in a tiny little pot like this and then a big pot, and the ratios are really hard to get. It's really, basically, I'm just going to have to put the little pot into the big pot, mix it all up, get it on the boat quick. So I'm thinking I've got one shot at it, so I need to get everything prepped and ready. I can't just glue up a bit and use it for a bit and then do the other bit without buying another load of glue, and it's like 16 quid a lot of glue. I suppose that's not too bad, but it would seem wasteful. So and then I've been looking at second-hand dinghies. There was one went the other day for 180 quid, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just get a new, there's a nice second-hand one, exactly the same as this, a Seago 260, that's going for 220 quid or something on the internet at the moment, and it's a year old. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I should do that. But then what happens to this? This just gets landfilled, and it seems like an awful waste, really awful waste. So I'm going to persevere with it and see if I can get some more years life out of it. It just seems too wasteful to just give up on it and just go and buy another one. So I know that would be the easy option and probably the cheaper option in terms of time, certainly in terms of time. But there we go. It's not in my nature. I feel like I need to fix this. So I'll better get on with it while the sun's shining. So it's now Sunday. Yesterday I spent a good couple of hours working on the dinghy, and the job just gets bigger and bigger. You kind of want it to be right. I want to do it once, but it's becoming such a big job, this. It's ridiculous. I didn't think it would take so long, but then, it's the perfectionist in me, I guess, or maybe not the perfectionist, maybe it's just every job with boats, you start doing it and you realise it's a bigger job than you thought. So the thing that started all this, the first year I had the dinghy, I was anchored over in the River and I went for a row over to a little beach, and rather than use the engine, disturbing my peace, everyone else's peace, the wildlife, the tranquil calm that is the universe, I decided to row, which is how things should be, really. And I think it was a very hot day, and maybe the glue on the boat had become a little less gluey and a little more runny because of the heat. It was bloody hot that day. And as I was rowing, I pulled one of the oarlocks, came off the side of the boat, and so I've now been going through cleaning this boat out, and this oarlock here had the leading edge lifting up, so I couldn't stop myself. That one is as well. And I had all these re-glued on last year by a chap in Plymouth, but I don't know. Either I'm going to spend all this time on it and it's not going to work, or he just did a quick repair job, because I've worked out how many hours I've put into this, and it's just not worth it. So I think he just chucked a load of glue on and stuck it back on, and that'll be that, rather than spending all the time you need to. So I took all this off and I've cleaned up all around there. I know it doesn't look all that clean there, but this bit falls into the middle here, so it's not so imperative as long as around the edges are really clean. But there was so much crud in there, and all this round here was just covered in glue. It's still not, I might be able to sand some of it off. It's still not immaculate, but it's a lot better than it was. So I think when that's glued down, it should hopefully stay on a bit better. Who knows? I hope this isn't all a dead loss. I do hope that the gluing gives it another few years, a few years life yet, because it's cleaning all the glue off with this solvent is a huge pain. So all these bits, I was talking about having to glue them with Hyperlon glue and then put the PVC glue on. I've read that if you use this stuff, I'll probably need some more of this, methyl ethyl ketone, if it's a PVC based and not a rubber based, it will make this sticky. And I did a little test in here away from all the existing glue. I put some in here and brushed it in with a brush, quite a bit of it, and it all went sticky and started becoming soluble, if you like, or tacky. So I believe this is PVC. I don't think I need to go through the Hyperlon glue process. I don't need to put the Hyperlon adhesive on this before I stick it onto this. I think I can just get straight away with the PVC glue. I've also read that a really good thing to do is if I put this acetyl, this MEK on here, if I put enough of it on, the actual fabric of the boat becomes tacky, and apparently then if you've got, that's when you put your glue or your first layer of PVC glue on, and you can get a proper, rather than a mechanical bond, you get a chemical bond, because the glue that you put on will mix with that layer of glue and it becomes kind of like welded on. It's a much better, much stronger bond. So I think that's what's giving me hope. If I do this correctly and I prepare both surfaces, I get all this tacked up, I get all this MEK on all that, get it all tacky, then get my glue on it, let it dry for a bit. As I'm doing that, I'll do this side and then stick them down. I think we should get a chemical bond between all of it, really, or at least partly chemical, and that should be much stronger than the glue that we're seeing, over here, where I can't remember, unfortunately, which oarlock. See, it's just peeling up. It's not a very strong bond at all there. There's nothing chemical, it's just blobs of glue. I think this is maybe what the guy in Plymouth did. I'm not sure which side he did, but anyway, it's not very good. So I've taken this one. This is interesting. So just to test my theory about the this being PVC based and not plastic based, I put MEK on the back side of this, so on one of these, if you like, until it became tacky, and on the surface here, under there, and then once they were both tacky, I pushed them too, and look, that's a much better bond than this has got, really. And that was with no added glue. That was just sticking the two together with solvent, basically. And that's much better than I've had previously. I didn't get the bottom pressed on very well, but that that's a really good bond. So that's given me really good hope, actually, that once I've got this done, I'll be breathing new life into this old dog, and I'll have saved her from the landfill, which would be hugely satisfying. Because, you know, we have plenty enough crap in our landfills, don't we? Well, the sheer boredom of this project has really got to me, and I've gone and done it. I've mixed up a quarter of the glue, and I'm going to start sticking some stuff on, because I just have a, a real need to see some progress, rather than just taking bits off the boat and making it worse. So I'm going to stick some stuff on and see how well it works, because I don't want to put any more effort into this if it turns out that these, you know, the glue isn't going to work well enough, and you know, it's all been a dead loss. So here's my glue. There's a quarter of it in a marmalade jar, and I'm going to do this bit first. So I'm going to prep the area with some acetone, then I'm going to get some MEK solvent on it just to get this, as I said, soft or slimy, ready to react. Also do the other bit, the bit with the rope on the other end of it, and then I have to, once that gets slimy, I put a thin layer of glue on there, thin layer of glue on the other end, wait half an hour, then another thin layer of glue on both sides, wait 5 minutes, bang, on she goes. So I shall get on with it. Okay, so now I've got a first layer of glue on there, on the patch, and on the middle one, on the middle disc, on the end disc, and on the end patch. So this is all, we're just waiting now for the glue. I'm slightly concerned, it says to wait half an hour, like put the first thin coat on and then wait half an hour, but that feels dry already to me. So I don't know what's going on there, but I'm going to follow the instructions to the letter. I thought that might still be a bit tackier than it actually is. And then I'm going to put the other thin layer on, wait 5 minutes, and then stick it on. In the meantime, I think I'm going to get on with this bit as well. While the glue is made up, I think I'm going to have enough to do this. A bit concerned that the inside of this isn't quite finished off enough, so I'm going to have a quick clean of this as well, just get the worst, you know, the last bits off, hopefully, and then good to go. And I'll so I'm really glad I got impatient there and started gluing stuff, because I'm much I'm much happier about the whole project now, having glued on the 3 bits for the carry rope and the oarlock on this side. I'm much more confident that this is going to be you know, a job that's going to last a while. The glue is entirely different looking from the stuff that the chap in Plymouth used. I don't know what the hell he put on there. It's really gloopy, horrible shit. He didn't, you know, this looks really neat. I'll show you. Just gonna have to keep a bit of pressure on here around where it gets, but it's a much clearer glue. It's really sticking down nicely now, even though, you know, it's got a long way to cure, but I just get a sense that this is gonna stay stuck down compared to that other stuff. I mean, if you look at the stuff around here, sorry for the camera stuff, if you look at the quality of the glue around here, it's I don't know, maybe time's done that to it, maybe my glue will go like that, but my glue appears to be entirely different, so I'm hopeful. I just need to keep a bit of a look on it. See, where there's bits I need to just keep a bit of pressure on it. So I'm going to put the camera down and just keep pushing it down while it attaches itself. These look really good, you know, that feels really strong. Maybe this has all been worth it. Let's hope so. Right, catch you in a bit. Well, I have had my lunch and I fear we've seen the better part of the day already. It's starting to cloud over and some larger clouds in the sky, so taking a bit of a gamble, but I'm going to have a go at the transom. I'm going to, I really want to get this dinghy usable again, and really the thing that's stopping it being usable is that unglued transom. So I'm going to give it a crack. I've deflated the tube a bit so as to make some space for me to be able to get in and get the MEK on in there to get it soft. And then I'm going to use the painter, which I have tied to that side on the handle there. I'm going to bring it over to this handle and pull it up tight and inflate the tube at the time when we're due to get the glue stuck. But if all this stuff, you know, this is really solid, so I'm really hoping that we should have a good sticking transom here. I've mixed up some more glue, so I'm down to, I will have, by the time I've done this transom, I think, used half my glue. Ideally I'd like to get that transom and that all-lock done, but I think I'm going to wait for another time for that, maybe do that over the winter. I know it's you know, it's not going to be as nice as doing it in this ambient temperature. It'll be cold, but I want to get some more sailing done this year, and if I start this and this, I'm not going to get the boat ready this weekend, so I shan't be able to go sailing next weekend or whenever. So onward with the main, this is the main event really, this is what it's all about. The rest has been really good practice, and you know, it's nice to have these things stuck on well, but not as well. I suppose these are pretty essential really. If the outboard motor stops working, I need to be able to row, and often there's a tide in the plim that I wouldn't want to have to sit on the front and just paddle with one paddle, especially if I've got the boat loaded and the kids in there. So yeah, onward and upward. Okay, so I've got the transom glued up. Well, it's drying at the moment. It's under tension, but that seems looking pretty good. Judging by the other side, this corner here is the most likely to be lifting, and that seems to have stuck down quite nicely. I think that's going to be a really solid joint. That, I think I'm really chuffed actually with the way this is working out. This I glued before lunch, and it's, you know, all the edges are really well stuck down. That's really solid, as are all of these. You know, it's all really good. That over there is going to bug me if I don't do it. So I think I was just going to glue down that front end and started making some preparations to sort of glue this bit down. But it's lifting at the back as well, and it's only a matter of time till that one comes off. So I sort of, when I was talking to the video a minute ago, it did occur to me how critical these Rolex could be. Even though I've got the outboard engine, you know, outboards aren't the most reliable thing. You know, a little two-stroke Yamaha that's God knows how long. It's always nice to have the paddles and a decent set of Rolex, so that you know you can get back to shore. I don't know, be washed around in the plim or wherever I happen to be if my outboard motor breaks. So I'm going to take that one off now and re-glue that. But actually, you know, I'm making quite good progress today, and I'm quite happy with it. So I don't think it's, you know, the more you do and the more you get back stuck on, then the happier you become with the whole process, and the more, you know, you think, oh, it's not that big a deal to take that off, get it glued on, and I know how much happier I'll feel once it's done. Well, I've spent the last 10 minutes, no, it's got to be half an hour at least, cleaning up this. It's really hard to clean up this stuff, so I'm taking the worst of it off just by scraping with a spoon, and then I shall have another go with the MEK and clean it up. Not done anything with this bit yet, but I shall do. Just give that a go now. Far side still looks good. Oh, it is portents of a storm. Look, I can feel a few drops of rain. That's nice. Maybe I'd best get the washing in before I do any more. I'm really keen to get this glued on today, though. Other than that, I think, you know, I'm probably in a usable state now. That side all glued up. This side is going to have to do. It's pretty strong. I was actually amazed how difficult it was to pull this off. It was on actually a lot better than I thought, despite the edges lifting up. So I think maybe this is the one that the chap fixed last year. But still, it certainly won't hurt to have it re-glued, and I'll take a bit of time to clean up all these sides and do it exactly as I've done that one, and then hopefully they'll both come off at the same time rather than me paddling around in circles. Well, it took about 2.5 hours to get that off, cleaned up and stuck back on again. So we're looking pretty good, really, actually. I'm just going to stick one more bit on. I've got this, which is the holds the ring that is used for towing it in using a halter. So once that's gone on, really, she's as good as she's going to get, I think, this season. I'm kind of, you know, what do I do about that? Everything else is done. Do I do that one? I haven't really got time today, so I think I'll put that off for another day. I've got to get all the hardware screwed onto the back of the transom there. Transom's a messy old job. Look, you can see all my epoxy dribbling down, but like I said, I'm not really fussed whether this dinghy looks lovely. I just want it to work for a few years. I want it to be functional and to be able to get out to Floresca, so I think it'll do that. That transom's lagged in epoxy. I probably should give it a coat with varnish, polyurethane UV resistant varnish. I might do that in a bit. Probably got time to do that, and I could do the slats on the bottom as well that go in the floor. Other than that, I'm really pretty happy with everything. So time's 4 o'clock now. I've got to be at I'm playing a gig tonight at 6:30. Well, I've got to be at the cider barn where we're playing a gig. So yeah, good day's work on the dinghy, and looking forward to being able to get back out to Floresca now. And there we go, got the transom furniture back on. Nice epoxied strengthening board there, backboard for the outboard. And you can see where all the marks on that were. Look where the engine is dug in. That's all now protected with epoxy, so that should be good and strong. Fixed all that. There was some water getting in that end grain. That's all got a really good thick layer of epoxy on it now. That's good and good to go. This is my repaired. Oh, there's a gap there, look. Still, it's very well stuck, and I don't think the water will get right through at all. It's much better than this side. You can see from that side, it's really, really good. All locks have come off and gone on again. All these ropes, all that has been re-glued down each side. So, I mean, it's not even fully dry yet, but you can see that's, you know, it doesn't achieve full strength for a while, but that's all very good. I've attached under here the 2 cleats either side. You can see there, and over that side there they've been restuck on, so I can attach a nice they were really dodgy actually. I'm really glad I didn't set up a bridle yet, because I think I probably would have lost one of those, and possibly the dinghy. It was really not good. So they're re-glued on. Again, the rope's down this side. So there we go. She's good to go. Oh, and of course, the boards have had some retreatment as well. The floorboards, they all should have a nice waterproof layer over them now. And I've got my tiller all epoxied up. So that's good. Now I just need to get back down to the boat and get out to it, get the tiller back on it, get it tidied up, ready for winter. I need to make sure that I need some, what needs to stay on the boat and what needs to come off it, and have a good sort out before the storms hit, and work out when I'm going to have her lifted out. But it's not going to be any time yet, I don't think. So there we go. Saved my dinghy, hopefully. Saved it from the landfill, which is really good. Well, touch wood I have anyway. We'll see. See how long it lasts.